Learning to communicate like a pilot will change your life. Delivering concise, effective, and essential information in the shortest amount of time is a skill you should strive to master. It's about speaking and writing in a clear, direct manner. Communicating like a pilot doesn't mean using cockpit jargon, unless, of course, you are actually in a cockpit flying a plane.
We have clearance, Clarence.
Roger, Roger. What's our vector, Victor?
Being a great pilot requires mastering techniques of communication, planning, and risk management, skills that are universally valuable. In this series, I'll share powerful lessons from aviation that have transformed my life. I've spent the past 3 decades building an IT career and pursuing my passion for aviation. Flying started as a hobby, then turned into a side business when I became a flight instructor in 2002.
Look outside.
Looking outside.
Just bring that nose across the horizon.
Then I got interested in competition aerobatics, which led to a career as an airshow pilot. And breaking the Guinness World Record for most inverted flat spins. Throughout this journey, I've used IT skills to inform my flying mindset, while new aviation skills have boosted my career and personal life. This video focuses on communication, the foundational skill everyone needs to succeed in life. As a pilot, becoming an adept communicator is essential. You must learn to speak clearly, comprehensively, and concisely. Being concise means providing lots of information in a few words, brief yet comprehensive. Mastering this skill is crucial for pilots and can be applied to every conversation we have, whether spoken or written. Let's start by looking at the rule telling pilots what their responsibilities are before every flight. Federal Aviation Regulation 91.103 requires the pilot in command to become familiar with all available information concerning that flight. You can see it here, and like most regulations and laws, it's not user-friendly in raw form, and the amount of information required is quite large. To remember everything that is needed, we came up with the NWKRAFT framework to help us. Back before digitized documents could be downloaded from the internet to the ForeFlight app on your iPad, pilots had to consult printed manuals, the latest charts, and call the weather service for current conditions and the forecast. After I collect all that required information, and it's a lot of stuff, then I'll make decisions about how to conduct the flight. Finally, I need to condense all that data down to the essential elements and create a brief using the WANT framework for whoever is in the plane and needs to know, such as the co-pilot and examiner, or just summarize it for myself. Here's what a pre-taxi WANT briefing might sound like for an instrument departure in a single-engine plane.
The weather is IFR with the ceiling at 600 feet and 1 mile visibility. We'll taxi to runway 26 via Delta 2, Bravo, Alpha 1, then depart via the published obstacle departure procedure. There are no NOTAMs that will affect us. The threats are a tower to the northwest, so as long as we stay on the ODP, we can avoid it. This is a single-engine plane. If we have an engine issue on the takeoff roll, I'll abort and stop on the runway. If we have an engine failure after rotation up to 500 feet, I'll land straight ahead. If we have a loss of power with an operating engine, I'll call the tower to declare an emergency and request vectors back to the runway.
In under a minute, I distilled a large amount of information into a brief that communicated only the essential elements. Of course, I have all the data behind it at my fingertips to reference if a new brief is needed due to changes, such as a wind shift requiring a different runway. Now, let's apply this briefing concept to a typical workplace interaction using a different framework, appropriate for the situation. You are the project manager responsible for opening the new flagship retail location in New York City, a priority for your highest executives at your company. You constantly receive emails from them asking for updates because they don't read the weekly status email you send out. Playing the game is important, so you can't just tell them to dig through emails and find Monday's status report. Also, you want them to feel important enough to receive a personalized update, but you don't have much time to waste on lame people. Use the STAR framework to craft a brief response containing only the essential information. STAR is a simple framework that lays out the situation or task, the action you took, and the result. This is how your reply email in the STAR format might look when you give this lazy executive an essential brief. Hi, Jane. One of the deliverables due last Friday is outstanding, The property manager of the new location did not finish reviewing the updated lease our legal team sent over. I have reached out over email and phone to their office asking for an ETA. They have not replied yet. I'll give them until the end of the week before escalating. Sincerely, Spencer. You may have used STAR in the past during a job interview where they ask a question that began with, "Tell me about a time," and then they provide a scenario for you to address, so the question you get is, "Tell me about a time when you had a project team member miss a deadline and how you handled it." STAR is a nifty framework to structure your response because you can brief only the essential information, which should be sufficient. It also gives the other person a well-laid foundation to ask clarifying questions if they want more details. In either case, you will come across as an effective communicator. Spend the next week using a framework to communicate essential information, then post it in the comments below and tell us how it went. If you enjoyed this video and want to be notified when each new episode in the series is released, then click the thumbs up and subscribe to this channel. Until then, fly safe.